Hello world, this is DEGHolliewould3, aka Champ Productions here in H-Town. Let me ask you a question. By any chance, when you see someone on one of these, a skateboard or any other skateboard, such as a longboard or a one wheel or etc., do you ask yourself, man, what would it be like if I could skate? What's the secret? What do they know that I don't know? Well, I, Champ P, am about to give you 10 helpful steps to get you and your friends and family starting on skating. Stay tuned. Before I go through these 10 steps, first of all, I must introduce something to you. Skating is not just skating. Skating is a way of life. Way of life, which means you must eat it, sleep it, walk it, talk it. I repeat, you must eat it, sleep it, walk it, talk it. It's like a religion. That's number one. Number two, it's very important to pick the right skateboard for your height and weight. I always recommend big wheel. I don't recommend this for beginners. Start with this until you get your muscles ready, because it takes probably 90 days or longer before you start developing muscle memory, just like playing a guitar, to where you don't fall off the skateboard. This is not for beginners, in my opinion, unless you start at age 5 or younger. But a person starting at 18, 19, even 15, always start big wheel, aka swagger board. And number 3, the third thing to remember, always drink juice or Kool-Aid, which has lots of vitamin C, potassium. Drink Kool-Aid or juice or both 1 hour before skating and 1 hour after skating. I repeat, 1 hour before skating and 1 hour after skating. This prevents you from getting cramps while you're skating and cramps after you're skating. So let's start with the first set of 3 out of 10 to remember. Number 1, always remember, there's things you can do on a skateboard, things you can't do on a skateboard, things you shouldn't think of doing on a skateboard. I repeat, things you can do on a skateboard, things you can't do on a skateboard, things you shouldn't think of doing on a skateboard. Do, can't do, shouldn't think of. Moving on to the next 3. Things, places you can skate, places you can't skate, places you shouldn't think of skating. I repeat, places you can skate on a skateboard, places you can't skate on a skateboard, places you shouldn't think of skating. Places you can, can't, shouldn't think of. Moving on to the last 3. Number 1, see my shoelaces? They're not too tight, they're not too loose. Very important. Tying them too tight will rip your ankle. Tying your shoelaces too loose will rip your ankle. Okay? Don't tie them too tight or too loose. They gotta be just right. Moving on. Pushing with a skateboard. See how my foot is like that? This is how you push with a skateboard. You don't push flat. Pushing flat will rip your ankle. Always push like that on the skateboard. I'll show you. Most cases, if you're right-footed, such as I am, you're going to skate, you're going to be leaning on your right. If you're left, you're going to be leaning on your left, which means I'll be pushing up like this with my left. So because I'm right-footed, I push with my right. I push with my left, just as this. That is how you skate. Moving on. The last third set, because there's 3 sets of 3 to remember, are don't skate too much. That's the last set of 3. So it's 3 sets of 3. The first set of 3, things you can do, things you can't do, things you shouldn't think of doing. Places you can skate, places you can skate, places you shouldn't think of skating. 3 sets of 3. Don't skate too much because you can rip your ankle. Don't tie your shoelace too tight because you can rip your ankle. And always push on the ball of your foot because you can rip your ankle. So it's 3 sets of 3. I repeat. First set of 3. Places you can skate, places you can't skate, places you shouldn't think of skating. Second set of 3. Things you can do, things you can't do, things you shouldn't think of doing. Third set of 3. Don't tie your shoelaces too tight or too loose, you'll rip your ankle. Don't skate too much, you'll rip your ankle. And always push with the ball of your foot. The last most important thing, the 10th thing, always skate away from cars. Whether they're moving or not, always practice skating away from cars. Hopefully these things were helpful. Please share them with your friends and family. Until next time, keep skating.